Hey you guys, welcome back to my channel for another video. Today I'm going to be giving you my review and feedback on every single piece of homeschooling curriculum we used in our homeschool this year. In this video, curriculum hits and misses, or curriculum review, whatever you want to call it. It's going to be short and sweet. I'm not going to go 10 minutes in depth into everything just because that would take a long time. But if you guys know anything about me and the way that I homeschool, I can say confidently that I am not someone who jumps curriculum companies very often. Once I find something that is engaging, Christ honoring, academically rigorous enough for the child that I'm looking for, and isn't causing frustration and tears continuously, then I stay with it. I am not someone who reinvents the wheel, so to speak, every single year, and that has yielded a ton of fruit in my homeschool through consistency. I don't care what any other homeschooling channel is telling you, there is fruit, God honoring, Christ honoring fruit that comes from consistency and self-discipline, and that applies in the homeschooling area as well. So if you're hoping for some juicy gossip, like this curriculum said this is not the video for you. I am quickly going to share what was a hit for us and what was a miss for us, and spoiler, more hits than misses. So if you are new to my channel, you may not know this, but I had children in grades 10, 9, 7, and 5 this year, and so all of the curriculum that I'm going to be sharing with you in this video will apply to those grade levels. Also, I do want to thank today's video sponsor, which is Night Zookeeper. I have been working with Night Zookeeper for years here on my channel because it is such a fun, educational, creative writing and reading platform for kids ages 5 through 12-ish. Not only does it help them with their reading, their writing, comprehension, grammar, sentence structure, adjective use, varying sentence structures, it covers all the bases of language arts, but it's an interactive computer game. So it's a great use of screen time in your homeschool or after. We use Night Zookeeper in our homeschool on Fun Fridays throughout this school year, and it was a definite hit. So that is our first one. Night Zookeeper was an online resource that we utilized for the entire homeschool year and will continue to use through the summer, and it was a hit for us. My kids love getting to play on there on Fun Fridays, and it's just a wonderful supplemental resource to what you're already teaching your kids in their language arts curriculum. There's tons of free printables. You can even get instructor feedback on the writing that your kids complete. There's ways for siblings to interact with each other on the screen with their characters they create that they can write stories about. So there's just endless things on there for your children. And the best part about it is it is all very child friendly. They're not going to be calling you for help very often, if at all, depending on their age, of course. But it's very user friendly. It's very simple to navigate. They can collect coins and unlock new worlds. So these are all the little characters that they've created on Night Zookeeper, which is super fun that they show up on the screen and they're interactive, which I think is really fun. So these are all of the game ideas, which was a project that Night Zookeeper asked them to do. And so you can create and write an idea that you have and submit it. And it shows you how long ago it was and all the different ideas from all the kids that play on here, which is really, really fun. Then at the top up here, it shows how many coins they have, what do the coins do?
They can get you new maps and items and stuff.
Word wings. Hard, easy, and medium level. So now she's gonna spell the word. O R G. Get your G. And E. Oh no, she hit a tree. So this game, as you guys saw, is just a really fun way for them to practice spelling words that they wouldn't necessarily come across or know how to spell. So it's just a nice addition to your spelling curriculum or spelling practice, just for extra reinforcement, and the levels increase as they spell the words correctly. You can also do Night Zookeeper with sound or without, so it can be done quietly or using headphones like you guys can see. So it's just a really fun way to reinforce concepts they're already learning. They spell the word correctly, and so it is just a ton of fun. So if you guys would like to check out Night Zookeeper, I do have a link down below for you, which will give you 50% off of your subscription. 50%, so that's half price. Plus, they do have a multi-sibling plan for those of you who have multiple kids in that age range, 5 to 12-ish. You can take advantage of that savings as well through that link down below. So it's like a 2-for-1. 50% off, and the sibling discount will be found in the link that is in the description box from Night Zookeeper. Like I said, we used it all year long. Fun Fridays. It's what my kids did in place of their language arts curriculum on Fridays, and it was a definite hit for me and for them, and it let Friday feel a little bit different, and they enjoyed the computer time, and I enjoyed them using the computer in that way. So it is just a win across the board. So make sure you guys check out the links to Night Zookeeper down below, and thank you, Night Zookeeper, for your continued partnership on my channel. All right, so we're gonna start at the top, and you'll notice that I don't have any curriculum to hold up and show you because I did not have the time or the capacity to go and collect all the curriculum. I'm filming this video on the heels of returning from our long vacation, and I got a lot to do, so you guys are gonna have to deal with the lack of imagery here on the screen. However, I will link to every single thing down below for you guys. So if you hear me talk about something and you're like, huh, I've never heard of that curriculum before, the website will be down below for you, so you can head over, check it out, research it yourself, and see what they have. Many of the websites will have free sample pages or an example lesson for you if it's something that you're wanting to explore. Also, keep in mind that this is just my opinion. Your family may enjoy something that ours did not, and vice versa. So just keep that in mind as we go through. All right, so I do have a list because I have 4 kids, and there was a lot of curriculum that we use. We are gonna start at the top with Bible. The resources that I pulled to teach Bible, these are just like the main ones. There were other books and things that I added, but I didn't want to go through all of that. So just, you know, these are like the main things. So for Bible, World Watch News. We started our day with World Watch News every single day. It is something I love. I love getting the news from World Watch myself and my kids. And I cannot tell you how wonderful it is to be able to talk about current world events with your children of all ages. I think World Watch is appropriate for any child that is living in this world. They do talk about the realities of very difficult things that our country is navigating and facing. And so, of course, you can skip over that, or you can, you know, talk about it with your children after to kind of explain things a little more thoroughly if they're younger and they don't understand. But World Watch is wonderful. It's fact-based, Christian worldview, no political affiliation, and it's just fantastic. A 10-minute segment in the beginning of our school day every day. My kids race to start it. They love it, and it's just a great way to do it. So World Watch News is a definite hit for us. Next up is the Not Consumed Bible Studies that we used this year. These were a definite hit. We love the Not Consumed Bible Studies. It was something new this year that I tried. I've never used their products before this year, and I love them. I will say, though, that I do think the ages on the Bible studies need to be changed, because there were some, like the one that said for grades 3 through 5 or whatever, it was very, very elementary for my 5th grade daughter. She definitely can handle and wants to do the one that they list as teen on the website. So keep that in mind. If your child is not new to faith and they've discussed different topics and they're very proficient in navigating a Bible and things like that, the grade levels on there didn't really sit well for our family. Also, I didn't know if I wanted the parent guide or not. Hindsight, I would definitely get the parent guide. So that way you're able to discuss after. I didn't have those with the studies, and of course I could have ordered them after the fact, but I just decided not to. So I would engage them with questions, but I think it's better if you do have the parent guide to do it with them. So not consumed, definite hit for us. We also used this book called The Ancient Psalms Ever New. It is by Martin Machowski, I think is how you say his name. It is linked on my Amazon. Last year we went through his book called The Ology, and this year we went through the Psalms, and we love that. We loved it. I loved reading a psalm a day with my kids, discussing it, how it applies to us. The book does have illustrations, so the book could really be used for teenagers and up, or it could be used for younger kids as well. So I think it's a great thing to read if you've got kids that span ages as well. So a definite hit for us. We also continued on using our journables, I think they're called, where it's literally transcribing a book of the Bible. We started it last year with Proverbs, and I would have my kids do that like when we were taking a break from a not consumed Bible study, not both on the same day. And we do enjoy them. I will say I do think that there's, it's copying. It's copy work essentially, which is what I was using it for. So I think it's a great resource for copy work. And quite a few times my kids said, oh, I just read that verse in Proverbs, it would come up or something. So your kids reading God's word and writing it out themselves, it's doing something in their mind. However, I don't think my kids would enjoy doing that every single day as a part of our Bible time. So it was good that we used it kind of sparingly in between not consumed Bible studies, or when I just said today we're going to do some Proverbs work, and then we would do it that way. So those are a hit for us, although I will add the caveat, I wouldn't want to do those every single day. Moving on to science curriculum. This year in our homeschool, I had my high schoolers utilizing BJU science, biology, as well as physical science, and both of those are hits. My daughter in the 10th grade said this biology course is her favorite thing she has learned in her entire schooling experience. So they are fantastic, they are thorough, they are fun, they are challenging, and very, very preparatory for anything that your child is going to do in the future. Really fantastically done. My younger two kids were using The Good and the Beautiful for science. We went through a lot more units this year than we ever have before, and I think it's just because my kids are older. They're on the older side. The Good and the Beautiful science units say grades 3 through 8, and so we just were able to move through them more quickly, which lended itself to us using more units, which is fine. But just if you've got younger kids, don't think, oh my gosh, we only did 2 science units, how did they do 6? Well, my kids are older. We did paleontology, we did safety, we did the maturation and reproduction, we did the simple machines and motion, and we did health in the human body. So I'm sorry, we did not do 6, we did 5. All of them were great. There wasn't one this year that we disliked at all. In fact, I had previously done the safety unit, the sexual reproduction and maturation unit, and the health in the human body unit. So those ones I had done many years ago, and it was time for a revisit, especially for my younger kids, because when I did those units, they were for my older children who are now in high school, and so we brought them back. I actually did the safety unit with all of my kids just to review that with my high schoolers, but also because the revisions did add in some internet safety that was not a part of the original one, and I really, really wanted them to have that information, and that yielded a ton of conversation with them. So all of those were hits. We love them. I know someone's going to say, well, what was your favorite one? It is just so hard to choose. And that's why we love doing unit studies for science for my younger kids, because they get exposure to so many different things. I don't know that my 5th grader especially would enjoy doing one topic for science the entire year. So science, both hits, BJU and the Good and the Beautiful, definitely. For history this year, history is where it started off rocky at the beginning of our homeschool year. I had purchased something from Master Books called For You They Signed, which I thought would be great. You know, this is me speaking in the past. I thought it would be great because my older two kids had just finished doing the U.S. Constitution course from the Good and the Beautiful with us. We did that all as a family last year. Fantastic. If you haven't done it, definitely would apply for high school. It was awesome. So since they did that, I thought, okay, well, we'll just continue on with the U.S. government and Constitution, and then we'll be done with that credit, even though, you know, in public school, that's usually a course you take in the 12th grade. We can do what we want, so I thought that would be great. However, that book was terrible. It was black and white. It was very boring. It was just facts. My kids hated it. Too many names. It was not working. And I am, again, not someone who changes things very often. So when I decided with my children that this was not going to work, we tried NotGrass World History. And this was our first time using NotGrass. Now, NotGrass is a full curriculum. It can be used simply as a history course. It can be used as an English course. It can be used as a Bible course, or all three. So don't let that scare you when you go on the website. I've had people message me and say, oh my gosh, it says it takes 3 hours to complete. 3 hours if they're doing all of that. So that's like 3 classes. Makes sense, an hour per class. We only used it for the history portion this year, and it was amazing. My kids loved it. Now, it was a textbook, so it's not that the other one being a textbook was where it went wrong. It just was interesting. It was colorful. It was engaging. It had thought-provoking questions and opinions and actual writings and you know, just really, really well done. So NotGrass History is a hit for us. My younger two kids, we tried Beautiful Feet books for early American history for intermediate grades. Beautiful Feet books is gonna be a miss. It just was not what I wanted. It wasn't that it was bad. It just wasn't very, I don't know. There was just a lot of stuff in there that we just kept like glancing over and skipping over just because it was almost like it was too much. And then the things that we would try, the links weren't working, or the craft was very like younger kid age. I will say the books, a lot of the books were good, but there was a definite emphasis on certain opinions over that time period that was permeating through the lessons, and so it just kind of soured the whole thing for us. So that is going to be a miss. I would not use that again. For math, we use the Good and the Beautiful, simply Good and Beautiful math, hit. Amazing, love it. My daughter loves it as well. And my other 3 children, so pre-algebra all the way up to algebra 2, used Shorman Mathematics. Shorman is an online math program. It is an answer to prayer. I found it a few years ago and just cannot sing its praises enough. So that will be a math curriculum that we will continue in our homeschool from the pre-algebra level all the way to calculus. It goes up to, should my kids decide to not take that for like a dual enrollment credit. Shorman is where it's at. Whether you've got a child who, you know, struggles a little bit with math or takes a little bit longer to understand things, or you've got an advanced student, I have varying situations there. It works for everybody. You just need to know how to approach it. It is not overwhelming. It is wonderfully done. There's tons of support should you need it. Very, very user-friendly. Can't sing its praises enough. So Shorman and the Good and the Beautiful for math, hits on both of those. For language arts or English, we art and geography, because as you know, the Good and the Beautiful encompasses all of those things. Every child of mine used a level from the Good and the Beautiful. So we have level 5, level 7, high school 1, and high school 2. Hits across the board. We love their language arts. It is so, so great. Level 5, this language arts level 5 was the first level that I got to use that had been revised, and I will say the revisions make it even better, but the older versions are still amazing. I've used them for basically my entire homeschooling journey except for at the very, very beginning, and just great. We love the Good and the Beautiful for language arts. As far as electives go, because obviously high schoolers do have some elective credits, and my 7th grader also did an elective course, we used our electives from 2 sources, one being Master Books and the other being BJU. So from Master Books, my son did a paleontology course. Now, this wasn't necessarily like a science course, but obviously it could be classified as that. It was more of an apologetics course on the subject matter of dinosaurs. It's a contentious conversation, and he wanted to learn more about that from a biblical perspective, since 90% of the books on dinosaurs and fossils all reflect old Earth, and so I would highly recommend it. Again, the course for that says grades 4 through 6. Him being in 7th grade, he just really wanted the books. So we skipped over a lot of the make a cut out construction paper type stuff. He's not into that. But there were a few things that he did do, which was like draw his own dinosaurs. So it had things that appealed to him, but then it also had some more elementary type stuff that really wasn't what he wanted. So hit on that for the books. For apologetics for my older 2 kids, we used it from Master Books. This is the answers books number 1 and number 2. It is an apologetics course. You guys, I can't tell you how life-changing these apologetics courses have been, not only for my children, but also for myself. This is information that I've learned in my adult years, and so it's so incredible to get to teach my kids and have these resources to be able to deepen my own knowledge and understanding of things as well, because I obviously have not mastered it all. But these conversations, these thoughts, these readings that we've done have been so edifying. I will say though, the course does come with both of the books, and both of the books are about this thick. I did not want to just rush through it to stay on the schedule that is printed in there. I really wanted to dig in and really help my high schoolers understand and talk, and I didn't want it to become something that they were like moaning and groaning about doing because they weren't understanding it, but I just wanted to keep moving forward for the sake of completion. So we only did 1 book this year. Now the book is this big, and I personally think the course would be better if it were laid out that way, because we move in our homeschool, and those 2 books, it just was not going to happen because I wanted them to understand. And if you just read words off of a page as fast as possible, you're not really getting the fullness of it. So that it's a hit for us, but the course laid out the way it is was not working. And that's just one example of like utilizing a curriculum that is incredible, but changing it so that it works for your family. So hits on both of those. The other 2 elective courses that my high schoolers did were both from BJU. We love their foreign languages. My oldest daughter was taking Spanish 3. It's the last year of Spanish that they offer. She's done foreign language 3 years now. And my son, who was in the 9th grade, did Spanish 1. So it was his first year of Spanish. And we love them. It was really fun for my older daughter to be able to remember what her brother was doing and the conversing, and they could help each other and things like that. The foreign language is done very, very well, and we absolutely love it. Now, the last little section I have here is called my extras section. There were a few things that we did that would fall into this category. One being handwriting. Handwriting from the Good and the Beautiful is amazing. That's what we used. Definite hit for us. Typing 3, my youngest daughter did from the Good and the Beautiful. Definite hit there. We did Worldly Wise. That's been something I've used in my homeschool just for like a brain warm-up, helping with vocabulary, different things. This year, I'm gonna have to say it was a miss for us. Although we did finish it, my high schoolers were recognizing, and it's because of all of the apologetics we've been doing. They were recognizing things in the stories contained in the Wordly Wise that were very, you know, it is a secular program, but prior to this, there were like stories that we would just kind of gloss over. But this year, my daughter in the 10th grade especially was getting very annoyed with the book. She was, you know, getting bothered by the things that they were saying. So we just decided that we weren't going to use it again after this year. In the younger years, there's things like millions of years and, you know, that kind of thing, but it definitely picks up and heads in a very left direction as they get older. So we won't be using it anymore. And then like Night Zookeeper, I mentioned at the beginning, would fall in this category. Definite hit for us there. And that is about everything that we used in our homeschool this year. So I hope that this video, I tried to make it as short and concise as possible, is a blessing to you guys who are still out there kind of wondering which direction you should head for homeschooling curriculum. I hope this is helpful. Again, be reminded, these are our opinions. This is the reflection of my children and my opinion on things. And so take it with a grain of salt. But make sure you do check out the link to Night Zookeeper. That will be down below for you guys. And thank you so much for watching. Please give this video a thumbs up before you click out of the video so I know that you guys still want to hear about curriculum on my channel. I always laugh because people always ask me to do videos for curriculum, but then they're not watched the most. And my most watched content on my channel actually has nothing to do with homeschooling. So it's kind of interesting. So if you want me to continue, please give this video a thumbs up and let me know with a comment down below. Thank you so much for watching, and I will see you guys again really soon. Bye, friends.